welcome to Wellness Series with Lush. My name is Lusha Mandabazi, and here's the platform where we get in touch with our well-being. I am so excited about today's episode because I've just learned that my guest and I have a history. Exciting history, I must say. I'm also excited because we'll be discussing an issue that is a concern worldwide, even more right here in our country: diabetes. In studio, I'm joined by a diabetic patient. He's a young man who's diabetic and very much involved in creating the diabetic awareness, not just in our country, not just in Africa, but worldwide. Kagiso, good afternoon.
Hello, Lucia. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good as well.
Are you going to ask me why I'm smiling, or should I tell you already?
I think you should tell me, but I think I know why. I think I know why.
Just to let you in, I am a nurse, and Kagiso used to be my patient way back then, and I wasn't aware when he was coming here that he's my former patient. So I'm really, really excited, and I'm very proud of him to be doing what he's doing now, in not just taking care of himself, but also, empowering the nation out there. I'm proud of you, Kagiso.
Thank you so much. I try my level best to be on top, like I always say.
Yeah, and you are on top, I must say.
Yes.
All right.
Ma'am.
So Kagiso, you've been diabetic all your life. You have diabetic type 1, diabetes type 1.
Yes, I've been living with type 1 diabetes for 22 years now.
Wow. Okay. So how old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was first diagnosed back in 99, and I was only 10 years by then.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I don't know if this will be a fair question, just to build on, because I would love for you to take us through the journey. I know you were young, you were only 10 years old, but did you understand what was going on?
I really love that question because this is how I get to unfold and tell people how I learned I was diabetic. I was only 10 years. I mean, me and you both know that a 10-year-old understands nothing.
Yeah.
So I started losing massive weight. I started urinating frequently, which are the signs of type 1 diabetes. So I was a very serious case for Marina, to a point where the doctors had to have a meeting about me, because back then diabetes wasn't something that was usually found in a kid. So I got admitted to Marina, go Pete's Medical, and this is how I learned I was diabetic. I was sleeping next to somebody, more cubically, and this person next to them, they had hot chocolate, 5 roses, and a can of sugar.
Okay.
All I just said to my mom was that and my mom simply just said, what does that mean? The doctor says you can no longer have sweets. That was it. That is how I learned I was diabetic.
You were probably heartbroken, like, ooh, no more candy for me.
I was heartbroken, honestly, but it had an advantage. I was going to be the only kid in school who would actually inject himself. So I got all the credit of being the brave guy of injecting yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
You were the big man.
You were the big
at
man.
10 years old.
At only 10 years old, yes.
But I love the fact that you're saying that your mom said to you, nope, you have
It
sugar.
stops here.
I know that in our language we call it sugar diabetes.
Yes.
So no more sugar. Do you ever have a conversation with her how she was feeling back then? Was she aware of what diabetes is, even when you were having those signs of frequent urination and hunger, losing weight? Did she know what was going on? Did she have an idea of what was going on?
In all honesty, she did not. What I've learned is that to this day, I'm not like pointing fingers, but to this day, my mom still doesn't believe that I'm diabetic. It's very sad, but to me, I usually tell people it's actually the best thing that has ever happened to me. So at the time when you're told your son is diabetic and they have to live on insulin, she really didn't take it in an appropriate manner. She didn't like it at all, but it was what was there, and I had to live the way I'd have to.
Maybe it was a shock for her. Maybe there was no family history of diabetes. So
that's the other point. In our family, I was actually the first to be diagnosed with diabetes, both from mother, father, extended family. I was the only kid who was diagnosed with it. So it was something really brand new to the family, and trust me, it wasn't a good thing.
Wow. Yeah. And it's been 22 years. Okay, just take us through the signs so that our viewers can just be aware of some of these signs that are kind of expected for or for diabetes.
Okay.
And then just take us through how you've been coping all these years.
Okay. The major signs of type 1 diabetes are frequent urination, excessive thirst, blurry vision, loss of massive weight, and excessive hunger. I can explain these individually. Like frequent excessive weight loss, lose weight. It's really extreme. Like you can lose 10 kgs in 30 minutes. That's how bad it is.
Well, not 30 minutes, but yeah.
You know,
so you were a big boy when you were young.
Yeah, when I was growing, I was a bit big.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden you went.
This is me now. This is me.
You're looking good, just in case you're wondering.
Thank you so much. So the frequent urination and thirst can get so bad to a point that you end up drinking water and you're in the toilet and it's just passing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because you're severely, probably you're thirsty because you're losing a lot of fluid.
The sugar is too high and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
So it's really bad. The excessive thirst is so bad that in a space of 30 minutes you can drink more than 5 liters of water.
Yeah. Without even you being aware, probably.
You don't even take note of it. All you just want is I want water. I want water. And then we have blurry vision. Lush extended. I'll extend it to the side. Yes. And then we have the excessive hunger.
Did you have that? Did you have blurry vision?
Okay. What I can recall good is that I had frequent urination, I had excessive thirst, I had massive weight loss. With the blurry vision, I really can't say. But before I was diagnosed, there was a point where I got specs. Because so I was prescribed for specs. I guess that was part of it, showing that we're heading this way.
Yeah. Because usually that's one of the complications. You know, when you have high blood sugar levels or glucose levels and they're not controlled, one of the complications that result is loss of vision.
Yes.
So
and then how I've been living, you were saying, right? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. The first 10 years of my diabetes were a living hell, in all honesty.
Okay.
I think this was the part where I had given up in life and I was not ready to accept that I'm diabetic.
This is your teenage years,
yes,
because you were diagnosed at 10.
Yes.
And you between 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
My teenagehood was the worst. This is where you met me, obviously.
Yes.
When I wasn't taking care of myself, I would use my diabetes to get to my parents, but the funny part was like, you see, I would skip my injections. I would go for months because I would throw myself into diabetic comas. You know, I'd ask for something. I give you a time frame of 2 weeks. It's not there by 2 weeks. I take my insulin, I inject myself, and then it's life out.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about that bit.
Okay.
Was it because you were in denial, or you were angry, or even at that time you were still confused of what is going on? Because it seems like already at that age you understood your disease. Like, okay, if I don't inject myself, I'm gonna get into a coma. So mom better get me a PS4 or whatever.
Yes.
So what was it? Was it denial? Was it anger or confusion? Teenagehood? What was it?
I'll rule out confusion.
Okay.
That one, it wasn't that. What I say and tell people is that I was in denial. I was in serious denial, because every time you're introduced, Kagiso Molosiwa, you're on the spotlight already.
But who did that?
My mom. and my friends. Like,
okay. But okay, that is also critical.
Yeah.
From where I'm standing.
Yes.
Why was that the issue? Why can't it just be
just like
it's
that?
My son.
I think it was a way of maybe getting attention to people to let's talk about this, or maybe it was just, you know how outies are. Then you have a weakness. It becomes something that everybody talks about.
And how did it make you feel?
At that point, when I was growing, it wasn't nice. I didn't like it at all until my life hit a massive U-turn. To this day, I still have people who call me sugar, and I love it. Like hakitsana ga dutsi le sukiri. How mpotsa if you don't know me only lushebo tsa re ke mba bitsa sukiri baba ntala la ka gore ke lwa sukiri ha tiki sugar. It's fine. And it's something that, like I told you, it's something that has made me the young man you see in front of you today.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud to this day to tell people that I'm diabetic because of what it has turned me into and what I am doing out of it. Yes.
Wow. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at you, I'm remembering the Kagiso back then. I'll keep saying this. I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've hit peaks in my life with it. Obviously, you have your downfalls like every other person, but I think my peaks with being diabetic is actually the best thing that has ever happened to me. I would share that if you'd want me to share that. The high peaks of my life with being diabetic.
Let's share those, because I would like us to go into how to take care of yourself now in terms of lifestyle management. So just quick, take us through your high peaks.
I went for my first training of youth living with diabetes in South Africa at 2010. And then I went for the second one in 2014. And then there I was chosen by the group of Botswana who went there to be their head youth leader. Why? I don't know. I really don't
because
know.
You've got it in you.
I really don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, you've got it in
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. And then this is when I accepted my condition, I decided that I'm going to use my life as a living testimony. I'm going to use my life, my downfalls, to bring somebody up.
Yeah.
So we had plans of what we want to do as youth to reach the four corners of these countries and teach about diabetes, which we are still trying to do even to this day. 2017 is when I hit, like, I call it a jackpot. I applied for International Diabetes Federation youth training. I did this as a joke. I'll keep saying this. This was just a simple joke, like, apply man now we're not the interest was like, yeah, just give it a shot.
So it's a calling for you.
That's what most people say. So I did that, and then boom, surprisingly, I was admitted. Just as I received my admission from IDF, a second email comes in. There's a plane ticket for me to fly to Ethiopia for 4 days. I'm like, okay, I'm flying out of the country.
So you're seeing the world.
This is a start of something huge. Yeah. So, and then that was it. And then I went to Ethiopia. 2017 December, I had to raise 11,000 to fly to Abu Dhabi. It wasn't easy, but I will never forget this one interview I had at Gabs FM. After I left the studio, I got a donation of 5,000 bucks. And that was like, I was 6,000 short now. And then the Diabetes Association is like, this young man does a lot for us. Come on, let's just boost him and get him to Abu Dhabi. I get my plane ticket, boom, Abu Dhabi. And then when you're Abu Dhabi, you meet other youth from the whole world.
Who are diabetic as well.
Who are diabetic. I met people from Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, Gambia, Tanzania, Ethiopia. This is just Africa. And then other regions of countries that I didn't even know.
So you were together
and trust me, that place is just, you know what, you speak one language. You guys understand each other, like, you say this one knows. You say this, and
do you come back to whatever you learned from as you visit the different do you come back and share it here?
Yeah, all the time.
Awesome.
So after the 2017, I was given 2 years to run a project. This project was monitored by the International Diabetes Federation. The biggest project that I've ever done in my life is called the YK Chairman's Challenge. So this project I was monitoring the diabetic part of this, where there's a man who's running ultra marathons every day. While he runs, we visit the Khotla, Botswana, gather people. Kagiso and his team teach about diabetes.
Okay, and do you teach just kids or everyone?
No, at that point we don't have specifics like Rabatabana. No, because I've gotten to a point where I know my condition like the palm of my hand.
Wow.
So give me any person, even an 8-year-old, I'll make it so simple for them.
Wow, Kagiso, I wish we had more time. We could go on and on. Yes. But in closing, what can you say? I want you to you know talk to both diabetics and non-diabetics, just in terms of healthy living. You know, maybe also based in your journey.
Yes.
You know, what can you say, just in closing, your last message in terms of diabetic awareness to our viewers out there?
Okay. One, to diabetics, it's not the end of the world to be diabetic. And it does not mean you cannot live a normal life when you're diabetic. Two, the people around us, the most important thing that we need from you as diabetics is support. You don't need to do anything huge.
Yeah.
Just checking weekend means a whole lot. It can get annoying, yes, but it's very important. And just being a friend and saying, can I come with you to your doctor's? You don't need to go with me to the doctor. No, just come and sit next to me while I'm queuing to see the doctor. It's very important. This one, it goes out to everyone. Diabetes is very, very deadly, guys. And I don't wish anyone to get diagnosed with it. What I would say is let's just keep healthy. Let's exercise. And then the problem with Botswana is how about let's exercise. For what? I don't know. Thank you, Monga. Just sweeping your yard makes a whole difference. That makes a huge difference.
Or taking a walk around.
The house makes a huge difference. So let's avoid junk food. Let's try exercise as much as we can, and let's just stay healthy. That's about it.
Wow. Just in a nutshell. Thank you very much, Kagiso, for joining us. I've got a feeling I'm going to invite you again because I love what you're doing. And in as much as we, you know, the government has done a lot, and even private entities, they've done a lot to educate the nation on diabetes. We still have people who don't know what diabetes is. We still have people who eat whatever, the junk, who we live sedentary lives, we don't exercise, and we don't have an idea of what we are getting ourselves into. So I've got a feeling I'm going to call you again so that we raise more and more awareness around diabetes. But for now, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And that is what we had for you this week in raising diabetes awareness. And we had in studio a remarkable young man, Kagiso Molosiwa, who is a diabetic patient and who's doing a lot, not just for himself, but for the youth and the nation at large out there. From me, Lush, join me again next week.